everyone! Today we're going to be going over how to make this daisy granny square. For this tutorial I was using this loops and thread yarn in the color Varsity Yellow, as well as this Red Heart Super Saver in the color White, and this loops and thread yarn in the color Sage, as well as a 5.5mm crochet hook. So using our yellow color for the inside of the daisy, we're going to go ahead and get started with a slip knot, which you can do however is easiest for you. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then in that first chain that we did, we're going to make a slip stitch in order to make a circle. So we're going to insert our hook in, we're going to pull the yarn that's in the back here through and through the loop that is already on our hook. So we're going to start by chaining 3, 2, and 3. And then we're going to put 11 double crochets into the circle that we just made with that slip stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. So then we're going to find the top of that chain 3 that we did to start this round, and we're going to make a slip stitch again in order to make a circle. So we're going to insert our hook in, we're going to pull the yarn in the back there and pull that through the loop that's on your hook. Then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to grab my scissors and cut off. I'm going to pull my hook through. So then if you want to, you can knot here in order to make sure it is more secure. To get started on the petals for our daisy, we're going to take our white yarn and we're going to start again with a slip knot. And then I'm going to go ahead and slip the slip knot off of my hook, and I'm going to insert my hook in to one of the stitches that we just did with the yellow yarn and pull the slip knot through. Then I'm going to chain 3, and in that same stitch that we just attached our color to, I'm going to put 4 more double crochets. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's 1. Then we're going to do 3 more, 2, 3. And then I'm going to take this loop that's on my hook and I'm actually going to pull it up a bit, and I'm going to take my hook out of that loop, and I'm going to find the top chain of the chain 3 that we did to start the petal, and I'm going to insert my hook in there. Then I'm going to insert my hook back into that loop, pull tight, then I'm going to pull that loop through the top of that chain 3. So then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to start on my second petal, which I'm going to do by putting 5 double crochets into the next stitch beneath us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to pull that loop up once more, and I'm going to take my hook out. I'm going to find the first double crochet that I did and insert my hook in there. Then I'm going to put that loop back on my hook and tighten it and pull it through that first double crochet. So then I'm going to chain 2 again, and you're going to want to follow that process for the rest of the petals. So another thing that I'm doing here is we have both the end that I have from the middle of my flower, the yellow here, and also the excess from my white slip knot. And I'm just crocheting over that so I have fewer ends to weave in when I'm finished with my project. Though of course, if you would prefer, you can leave those out and then just weave in those when you're finished. So we'll do just a couple more petals together. So in this next stitch here, we're going to put 5 double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to once again loosen that loop there and slip my hook off, insert my hook into the first double crochet, and put it back, that loop back on the hook, tighten and pull the loop through that first double crochet and chain 2. So we'll do just one more together and then we can meet at the end. So I'm going to do 5 double crochets again into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to loosen that and slip our hook out, insert our hook into the first double crochet for the petal, put the loop back on our hook and tighten, and then pull it through, chain 2, and then I'll meet you at the last petal. All right, so we're at my last petal here, which is my 12th one. So I'm going to do 5 double crochets into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I'm going to take the loop that is on my hook and pull up a bit, slip my hook off. I'm going to find the first double crochet. I'm going to slip that loop back on my hook and tighten and pull it through the first double crochet. So then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to slip stitch to this first petal here. So I'm going to insert, pull from the yarn in the back, pull through. Then I'm just going to chain 1 and cut off here. Pull my hook up, pull tight. And just like with the first round for the middle of the flower. You can knot if you want to make sure it is more secure. You can see here, if you turn the flower here, that the petals are a bit three-dimensional. And you should have 12 because you had both the chain 3 to start and the 11 double crochets here. So if we're working into each of those, you should end up with 12 petals. All right, now that we have completed the flower portion of our daisy square, you're going to want to attach the color that you're going to be using for the square portion. So I'll be using this green here, and we're going to start again with another slip knot. And just like we did for the petal portion, I'm going to slip that off my hook. And I'm going to find this chain 2 here that we did in order to attach the last petal to the first petal. I'm going to insert my hook there in this space and slip the slip knot back on my hook and pull it through. And then I'm going to start with a chain of 3. So then I'm going to put 2 more double crochets into this space here. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then 1 more. And then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and in that same space, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. Okay, so once we've done that, I'm going to put 3 double crochets into the next space between the next 2 petals. I'm going to yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, and then in the next space between the next 2 petals, I'm going to start with a cluster of 3 double crochets again. And then in the next space between the next 2 petals, I'm going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then a cluster of 3 double crochets again to make another corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then in the same space, 1, 2, and 3. And then in the space between the next 2 petals, we're going to put another cluster of 3 double crochets. And then we're going to do that again in the space between the next 2 petals. And then we're going to make a corner once more by doing a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then another cluster of 3 double crochets in the space between the next 2 petals. Chain 2, and then in the space between the next 2 petals, we're going to put a cluster of 3 double crochets. And we're going to do the same thing between the next 2 petals. 3 double crochets. And then in this space here between the next two petals, we're going to start with 3 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 2 to make a corner. And in that same space, we're going to put 3 double crochets. And then in the next space between the two petals, we're going to put a cluster of 3 double crochets. And then in the last space here between these two petals, we're going to put that cluster of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So then we're back here where we started this round, and we're going to find the top of that chain 3, and we're going to make a slip stitch. So we're going to insert our hook in to the top of the chain 3. We're going to pull the yarn from the back, pull through the loop that is already on your hook. So that is the first round of our square completed. All right, so we're going to do just one more round for the square portion of our Daisy Granny square. So I'm going to start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work into this corner space here, beginning with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 2 to make a corner and turn. And we're going to put 3 double crochets again into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. So in each of these spaces between the clusters of 3 double crochet, we're going to work 3 double crochet again into these spaces. And then when we get to that corner, we're going to work the cluster of 3, chain 2 to make a corner, and then we're going to work another cluster of 3. So 3 double crochets into this space here. And then into this next space between the clusters beneath you, we're going to work 3 double crochets. And a cluster of 3 into this space here. And then here's our corner. So we're going to start with 3 double crochets. Chain 2 to make a corner. And then 3 double crochets into that same space. So we're just going to do the same for each of these clusters. And if you want to meet me at the end once more, and we can finish off our project together. All right, so we're at the end of this round. So we have this chain 3 that we did to start. So we just need to put 2 double crochets into the cluster beneath. So we're going to do 1 and 2. And then we're going to find the third chain in that chain 3, and we're going to do a slip stitch. So then the next thing we would just need to do, just chain 1, and then you can grab your scissors and you can cut off. Pull tight there, and as always, you can knot there if you want to feel more secure. But this is our finished daisy square. The only thing that you would have left to do is you would need to weave in this end here, and if you have any additional ends in the back there, just weave it into the color that it is corresponding to. But this is our finished daisy square. Please let me know, as always, if you have any questions in the comments down below, or if there are any tutorials that you would like to see for the future. Thank you.